My name is Susan, and I am currently a university student pursuing a degree in mass communication. My university is conveniently located not far from my home, which allows me to visit my family frequently. These visits bring me immense joy, as my family is the cornerstone of my life. Among them, my mother holds a special place in my heart. She is not just my parent, she is my unwavering supporter, my cheerleader, and my source of endless inspiration. My mother is a woman of incredible strength and resilience. Her boundless energy and tireless dedication to our family are truly admirable. She embodies kindness and selflessness, always putting the well-being of others above her own. I often marvel at how she manages to juggle everything so seamlessly, even in my father's absence. My father works abroad, so he's away for most of the year. While I miss him dearly, I understand the sacrifices he makes to ensure a better future for us. At home, my mother effortlessly takes charge of everything, from managing the household to providing emotional support. She does it all with grace and composure. Growing up, it was mostly just the two of us, but our home was never lonely. Relatives frequently visited, filling our house with warmth and laughter. Among them was my favorite, Uncle Mike, my mother's younger brother. Uncle Mike was more than an uncle to me. He was like a big brother, a mentor, and a friend all rolled into one. His vibrant personality could light up any room he entered. He had an infectious sense of humor and a knack for storytelling that captivated everyone. Whenever he visited, felt like a festival. He would bring thoughtful gifts, share fascinating stories about his travels, and ensure everyone was in high spirits. I admired Uncle Mike deeply for his confidence, intelligence, and ability to connect with people from all walks of life. He always made time to check in on me, asking about my studies and my dreams for the future. What's new in school? Susan, are you making friends? What's your plan after graduation? He would ask with genuine curiosity. Each time, I'd excitedly share my aspirations of becoming a journalist or perhaps a TV presenter one day. Uncle Mike's response was always encouraging. You're destined for greatness, Susan. He'd say with a warm smile. You're smart, driven, and hardworking. Just stay focused, and you'll achieve amazing things. His words were like a gentle push forward, filling me with confidence and motivation to chase my dreams. One long holiday, however, my mother noticed a shift in my routine. Instead of engaging in meaningful activities, I was spending most of my time scrolling aimlessly on my phone. One morning, she approached me with a determined look. Susan, this isn't how you should spend your holiday, she said, her voice firm yet caring. You need to use this time to learn something valuable, something that could help you in the future. Caught off guard, I hesitated. What do you mean, Mom? What kind of skill? Her eyes sparkled with ideas as she responded. There are so many options. You could learn cooking, sewing, or even explore modern skills like digital marketing. Although her suggestions intrigued me, none of them truly resonated. I told her I'd think about it, not realizing she already had something in mind. Few days later, she came home beaming with excitement, holding a flyer in her hand. Susan, I found something perfect for you, she exclaimed, waving the paper like a treasure map. Curious, I took the flyer from her. It was an advertisement for a professional massage training program for women. The program promised to teach a variety of skills, from basic relaxation techniques to advanced massage therapy. My mother's enthusiasm was contagious. This is it, Susan, she said, her voice brimming with confidence. You should give this a try. Massages are in demand, and learning this skill could open new opportunities for you. First, I was skeptical. Massage therapy? It wasn't something I had ever considered. Are you sure about this, Mom? I asked, unsure of her suggestion. Absolutely, she replied with conviction. This will keep you engaged, teach you something useful, and who knows, it might even become a career path or a side hustle. Her belief in the idea began to influence me. With some hesitation, I agreed to enroll. Okay, Mom, let's see how it goes, I said with a cautious smile. Little did I know, This decision would lead me on an unexpected journey. When Uncle Mike visited us during the holiday, he immediately noticed that I seemed busier than usual. He always had an eye for detail and loved asking questions. One evening, as we relaxed in the living room after dinner, he leaned forward with a curious expression. "So, Susan, what's keeping you busy these days? I heard your mom mention some training program." He inquired, feeling a bit shy but proud. I told him about the massage training. His reaction surprised me. "Massage therapy? That's fantastic," he exclaimed. "It's a skill that not only helps others, but also teaches you a lot about human anatomy and wellness." I'm impressed. Encouraged by his approval, I shared more about what I was learning. "It's actually fascinating," I said. "I never realized how much science and technique go into something as simple as a massage. It's about more than relaxation. It can help people manage pain and stress." Uncle Mike nodded thoughtfully. "That's incredible. Susan, I'm glad you're exploring something new. This shows initiative and adaptability, qualities that will serve you well in life." His words, much like my mother's encouragement, reaffirmed my decision. The training not only gave me a new skill, but also instilled a sense of purpose and curiosity. What started as a suggestion from my mother turned into a journey of self-discovery, and I couldn't be more grateful for the push. Uncle Mike nodded, his expression a mixture of pride and genuine curiosity. "You've always been a bright one, Susan. I'm truly impressed by your determination. Trying something new isn't easy, but here you are, giving it your best shot. I'm proud of you," he said warmly, leaning forward slightly. "So tell me, do you think you're any good at it yet?" I hesitated, feeling a flicker of both excitement and self-doubt. I didn't want to come across as arrogant or overly confident, especially since I was still learning. "I think I'm improving," I replied softly, my voice tinged with humility. "But I've got a long way to go. There's still so much to practice before I can get it just right." "That's exactly the right attitude," he said with a wide smile, his encouragement making me feel a bit more confident. Then, with a casual tone that caught me off guard, he added, "Why don't you practice on me?" I blinked, momentarily stunned. "On you?" I asked, unsure if he was being serious or just teasing me. "Of course," he replied with an easy chuckle. "Why not? Come on, Susan. I want to see how good you're getting. Besides," he added, his tone becoming playful, "maybe I'll even pay you for it. You know, for your future business." I felt a wave of uncertainty wash over me. Practicing on my uncle wasn't something I had ever considered. It felt a little odd. After all, he was family, and that made it different from working on a stranger or a classmate. But Uncle Mike, ever the optimist, wasn't about to let me wriggle out of it so easily. "Don't overthink it," he said with a wave of his hand, his tone light and reassuring. "It's just practice. You said you need more experience, right? Think of me as your first client, an easy one. No pressure." I glanced at him, weighing my options. On the one hand, it felt awkward. On the other hand, he had always been so supportive of me, and I didn't want to let him down. He had this knack for making me feel like I could do anything, even when I wasn't sure of myself. "Okay," I said finally, giving a small nod. "But only for practice." "Perfect," he exclaimed, his excitement evident. "I've got no doubt you'll do a fantastic job." His enthusiasm was contagious, and I couldn't help but smile, even though I still felt a bit nervous. That moment seemed like an innocent way to build my confidence. Little did I know, that seemingly simple decision would ripple into something far more complicated than I could have anticipated. Later that evening, after dinner, my mother mentioned she was heading out to visit a neighbor. She assured us she wouldn't be gone long and left with a cheerful wave, leaving Uncle Mike and me alone in the house. I didn't think much of it at first, but as soon as the door clicked shut behind her, Uncle Mike turned to me with a grin that hinted he hadn't forgotten our earlier conversation. "Well, Susan," he said, leaning back comfortably in his chair, "now's your chance to show me what you've learned so far." I hesitated, caught off guard by his sudden eagerness. "Right now?" I asked, my voice uncertain. "Why not?" he said with a shrug. "It's just the two of us here. You said you needed more practice, didn't you? This is the perfect opportunity." He wasn't wrong, I did need more practice. And logically, practicing on someone familiar and understanding seemed like a safe way to improve. I figured there wouldn't be any harm in it. "Okay," I agreed reluctantly, "but give me a minute to grab my massage oil." I went to my room, retrieved the small bottle of oil I'd been using during my training sessions, and returned to the living room, placing the bottle on the table. I tried to adopt a professional tone to mask my nerves. "You can lie down on the couch," I said, gesturing toward it. "Got it," he said, following my instructions with an exaggerated sigh of relief. As if preparing for some luxurious spa treatment, he stretched out on the couch, settling in with a contented smile. "Take your time," he said, closing his eyes. "I'm ready when you are." As I poured a small amount of oil into my hands, I couldn't help but feel a mixture of apprehension and determination. This was a chance to put my skills to the test. Even if it felt a little unconventional, I took a deep breath, reminding myself that every professional started somewhere, and this was just another step on my journey. When I began working, I was eager to put into practice all the techniques I had learned during training. First, everything felt normal, even routine. I concentrated on doing my best, carefully applying the skills I had been taught. Uncle Mike, ever the encouraging figure, watched with an approving smile. "Wow, Susan, you're really good at this," he said in his usual calm and relaxed tone. "I can actually feel the stress leaving my body. You've got talent." His words warmed me. I smiled, grateful that my effort was being noticed. It wasn't just a compliment. It felt like validation of the hours I had spent perfecting my craft. It gave me a small but meaningful boost of confidence. And for a moment, I allowed myself to feel proud of how far I had come. As the massage neared its conclusion, I was focused on wrapping up with the same care and attention I had started with. But then, out of nowhere, Uncle Mike said something that sent a cold wave of unease through me. His grin was playful, but his words were anything but. "Susan," he said lightly, "you should give me a happy ending." I froze, my hands hovering over his shoulders as my brain struggled to process his words. Had I heard him correctly? The shock of it made my chest tighten. Unsure how to respond, I tried to clarify. "What do you mean, Uncle Mike?" I asked hesitantly, my voice barely more than a whisper. He laughed, waving his hand dismissively as though brushing off my unease. "You know what I mean," he said, the grin still plastered on his face. That was the moment it clicked. My heart sank, and my hands instinctively pulled away as I stepped back, trying to create a safe distance. "Uncle Mike," I said firmly, my voice trembling only slightly. "I can't do that. That's not right." He sat up quickly, his expression shifting. His grin faded, replaced by a defensive look. "Relax, Susan," he said, raising his hands in a gesture meant to placate me. I was just joking, but his eyes betrayed him. There was something unsettling in his gaze, a tension that hung in the air like a storm cloud. I stood there, frozen for what felt like an eternity, before muttering a polite excuse to leave the room. That night, I lay in bed replaying the moment over and over in my head. I debated whether I should tell my mother, but the thought of the fallout stopped me. I didn't want to risk causing a rift in the family, so I kept it to myself, burying the unease deep within me. The next day, Uncle Mike acted as if nothing had happened. If anything, he seemed unusually kind. He greeted me with an apologetic smile and said, "I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable yesterday, Susan. I was just teasing. But honestly, you're really talented. You've got a bright future ahead of you." I nodded politely, unsure how to respond. His tone was so casual, almost as if he wanted to erase the memory of the incident entirely. Later that evening, he approached me with an unexpected proposition. "Susan," he said thoughtfully, "if you're serious about this massage thing, I'd like to help you. You've got real talent, and it would be a shame for it to go to waste. If you want, I can fund you to start your own business." I stared at him, stunned by the offer. His words caught me off guard, leaving me conflicted. On one hand, the opportunity was incredible, something I hadn't even dared to dream of. On the other hand, I couldn't shake the memory of what had happened the day before. "Are you serious about this, Uncle Mike?" I asked cautiously, searching his expression for any hint of insincerity. "Of course," he said with a reassuring smile. "I believe in you, Susan. This is your chance to build something amazing for yourself." After some hesitation, I decided to accept his offer. The prospect of starting my own business was too significant to pass up. True to his word, Uncle Mike provided the funds I needed to open a small massage shop in town. He even helped me scout a location, negotiate the rent, and set up the space. It was clear he wanted me to succeed, and for that, I was grateful. The shop turned out beautifully, a cozy sanctuary with soft lighting, soothing music, and an inviting atmosphere. When I opened the doors for the first time, I was filled with a mix of excitement and nerves. This was my opportunity to prove myself, and I poured every ounce of my energy into making it work. Over time, the shop gained a steady stream of clients. People appreciated my skills, and I began building a reputation for delivering quality service. Every now and then, Uncle Mike would stop by to check on my progress. He'd smile proudly and say, "I knew you could do it, Susan." Looking back, I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity he gave me. His support undeniably changed the trajectory of my life. But no matter how much I appreciated his generosity, the memory of that uncomfortable moment lingered like a shadow. It was a stark reminder that trust, once shaken, is never quite the same. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder how things might have turned out if I had responded differently. But deep down, I know I made the right choice. That moment taught me the importance of setting boundaries and standing up for myself. Even when it's difficult, Uncle Mike's actions left a complicated mark on me. A blend of gratitude, discomfort, and hard-earned wisdom. Through it all, I've learned to tread carefully, even with those I trust, because trust is a fragile thing. It's a lesson I carry with me, one that shapes how I navigate relationships and the delicate balance of loyalty and self-respect. Thank you for taking the time to watch our videos, and especially subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. Our channel will always update interesting content. Thank you and see you in the next videos.